Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I don't know why I said that like that. I really don't. Um, Hope y'all are doing okay on this cold Tuesday. We'll be starting here in just a momento. Just a moment. Trying to figure out how to get my phone to stay up so that I can actually do what I want to do today. Okay, typically on Tuesdays, I always do the news from the channel, so let's do that first. We have 371 subscribers. Woohoo! Thank you to all the new people. Wish you would come to lives. We had 6 videos, or these are the stats from last week. 6 videos, 3 shorts, 7 streams, 1 post. 2.1 thousand people tuned in, and we had 7 new subscribers. You guys watched Whale Tales, Giant Squid, and 2 groups of whales. 13 likes, 13 shares. The most watched video was Whale Tales. Done for that one. The other channel had 1 video and 5 shorts, which is what it should be. 441 people tuned in. We had you guys watched Bowhead Whale on that channel, Other Venomous Creatures in the Great Barrier Reef, and King Vultures in Captivity. The most watched video was Bowhead Whale Toy Review. I was right. Okay. So let me get to we are Okay, so we're going to try okay, so the way this works is questions. Um, so we're going to try doing this, and I don't know the best way to do it. So we're just going to wing it. Sorry for the quiet. I know usually I'm talking. But this is your chance to see if you can stump me. So, what creature is the deepest diver? Easy. The deepest diver is the sperm whale, and it can dive down to 1,600 feet, if you can believe that, which is true. What are some reasons that marine mammals leap out of the water? Well, one of those reasons is because, believe it or not, leaping out of the water saves them energy because it's easier to move through the air than it is to move through water. Um, Also, because dolphins and whales are mammals, they have to come to the surface to breathe. So there is that. What defense mechanism does the torpedo ray have? Well, torpedo rays are a form of electric ray. And so, one of the things that they can do to protect themselves is emit a powerful blast of electricity at about 200 volts of electricity coming at you. So, not something you want to engage with. Are there any vampire fish? Yes, believe it or not, there is a vampire fish. Deep sea anglerfish, the males attach to the females and they allow them to actually feed. Ooh, forgot to do that. Vampire squids aren't technically vampires in the sense that they feed on blood. The deep sea anglers, though, their bodies combine with the females, and so all of their nutrients literally comes from the blood of the female because the blood carries nutrients. Not exactly the way it should work, but what sea animal has the largest baby? Again, this one is pretty simple. It is the blue whale, and the baby weighs 2.5 tons at birth. At 6 months of age, they will be 54 feet long. So they grow really fast. I'm giving people a chance to think of questions to throw at me. If you can't see chat and you're on your phone, look up in that corner for something that says open an app. Click on that, and all your worries will be over. You'll be able to see chat. What is the most dangerous snake in the world? Well, it might be sort of weird, but it's actually the olive sea snake. In the United States or North America, the most dangerous snake is the eastern diamondback. Now, that being said, any venomous snake is dangerous, and it's best to just stay away from them, let them have their room. What is the biggest snake? Well, yes, but the olive sea snake is one that isn't usually encountered. But yeah, there are some very dangerous snakes in Australia that do have really dangerous venom. You're more apt to take a bite from one of them than you are the sea snake just because it's in the sea and they tend to be usually pretty docile. But yeah, the longest snake in the world is the reticulated python. Some can reach over 32 feet long. Now, when we're talking about the anaconda, yes, they can get big. Usually they max out around 17, maybe 24 feet, but they're girthier. They're going to be bigger around than a python. Do snakes have legs? No, but they did have legs at one point. And if you look at some pythons, believe it's pythons, there's actually a spur that could be left over from a period when they did have legs. Okay, so what is spider webs? What are spider webs made out of? They're made out of silk. Now, silk is made out of proteins. It is actually, if you took steel and you were to make it the same thickness as a spider web, the spider web would be stronger than steel. The spitting spider actually captures its prey by spitting a gum type web that pins down the prey. Really cool. Wish I had one to show you, but I don't. Do all scorpions sting? Yes, they do. All scorpions that I know about are all venomous. So yes, now the majority of them, it's going to hurt, but they're not going to kill you. True. But the spitting spider is unique in that it spits at its prey in order to trap it. Most tarantulas do not really use web a whole lot, but that varies from species to species. The emperor scorpion is the biggest spider, or the biggest scorpion rather. Sorry. They can be up to 7 inches long. Now, we discussed a bunch of different invertebrates that I discussed a bunch of different invertebrates that live in your house. And one of those invertebrates is the dust mite. And dust mites are really cool, sort of scary, but they actually feed on your skin. Now, most people, you're going to go your whole life never knowing that they are there unless you watch my YouTube videos. But they actually add weight to your mattress. And I think it's something like 10 million dust mites in an average mattress. Sort of makes your skin crawl. Are there really animals that live in your eyelashes? Yes, there are. And they're actually a mite, and they live in your eyebrows. And they actually help keep your skin clean. And they're so small that you can't see them unless you have a microscope. How many eggs does a queen termite lay? About 30,000 eggs a day. That's a lot of babies. I guess human parents should be lucky that they don't lay that many babies at one time. Some trees in Africa actually produce spaces for ants to live because the ants provide protection from larger herbivores. So, like if a giraffe were to come up and eat off of that plant and the ants were alerted, they would attack the giraffe. Now, are there ants that are dangerous to humans? Absolutely. And one of those ants is somewhat similar to the army ants that live in South America. These are called the driver ants. And these guys will march across the area, eating everything in their path, even attacking people. Fire ants, yes, are dangerous. Do ants know each other? Probably not. However, there is a certain smell, chemicals that are produced, that tell an ant, hey, you belong to my colony or my nest, and I don't have to attack you. Another ant from a different nest is going to have a different smell, as well as a different species will have a different smell to them. What happens to wasps during the winter? Easy, easy peasy. Unlike bees that store food for the winter, a wasp will a wasp colony basically dies out except for the queen. She will find a place to rest for the or hibernate for the winter, and then in the spring she reemerges and starts her nest. Does the female eating the head um does the female mantis eating the head of her mates end mating? No, it does not. They will continue to mate even without the head. Is there a louse that can kill humans? Yes. Human body lice is capable of spreading typhus. And typhus was a huge concern during World War I and during World War II. Is it possible for flies to help the police? Actually, yes, it is. Different flies will come to the body at different times of the decomp process. And so, if you know how long it takes the maggot to go from egg to maggot or maggot to fly, you can get an estimate of how long that body has been dead. Why do some flies look like bees? Easy answer. They are capable of um, camouflaging themselves. Or because maybe that fly feeds on bees. So it depends on why. Are there any giant earthworms? The short answer is yes. There is a worm in South Africa that grows to over 3 feet long, if you can imagine that. There's also giant earthworms measuring 10 feet, and those live in Australia. I've also read where they live in Oregon and in Washington State. So, yeah, I feel like I've lost people and I don't know why. So, any questions from my viewers? I don't know what's going on. If you see a skunk doing a headstand, should you move or run away? You should run away. Because the spotted skunk does not just raise its tail, it'll stomp the ground and then stand up in a headstand and spray. Ooh, okay. Birds that are ratites, especially the emus and the ostrich, and I think also the rhea, it's the dads who actually take care of the babies. Remember, if you can't see chat, make sure you click on open an app. And if I've lost you, please let me know. Do orangutans use tools? Yes, they do. I don't think it's as widely known as, say, do orangutan or chimpanzees using tools. But yes, they do. They will actually take leaves and use them as umbrellas. Have you ever seen birds that make their nest? It's like a hanging nest. Well, they do that to make it a little bit easier to control predators. There's actually another bird where they make a big nest and they actually share that nest with bees. Now, there is a really cool organism. It is not an animal. It's called a slime mold. And these guys will actually move, sort of like an amoeba. And then, when they are ready to produce new slime molds, they will actually form like a mold, has the little things that stick up. They will actually do that too. And they are very interesting animals. If you want to learn more about them, check them out on your internets. Why do macaws eat clay? That's a great question. And they actually do this because there are minerals lacking in their diet that they don't get from fruits. Why you Somebody asked, why do sloths have green fur? Easy question. That's because sloths actually have um, algae that grows in their fur. That in turn actually supplies food for a moth that lives exclusively in the sloth's fur, and it feeds on the algae. The algae also gives the sloth a little bit of camouflage. So that is what that is about. Awesome question. One I'm very excited for, actually. Are there poisonous birds? The answer is yes. It is actually a neurotoxin, I believe. Believe they were discovered in 1992 in New Guinea, and it is strong enough to kill mice and frogs. And in people, it can cause numbness, burning, and sneezing, among other things. Why do some insects glow? Great question. I'm going to answer that. Two reasons. One is to attract a mate, and the other is to maybe get a meal. Are there any butterflies as big as a bird? The answer is yes. There are female butterflies that have a wingspan of over 11 inches. There is also a fungus gnat that lives in Australia. The larva is worm-like, and it has the ability to bioluminescent. That means it glows, and they actually hang a sticky silk thread, and when a insect hits it, they are attracted by the light of the insect. The insect then it gets caught. The insect brings in its line and eats its prey. Now, I mentioned that anacondas are one of the largest snakes. Well, not the largest, but the heaviest snake. These guys can get as much as 3 feet in diameter. So, big, heavy snake. Are there? This is a difficult question to answer. Are big animals the most dangerous? Yes, there are very dangerous big animals, but when you really do the math, you'll discover that some of the most dangerous ones are some of the invertebrates. So, like body lice, fleas, mosquitoes. Um, those diseases that they pass, pretty dangerous. The polyphemus moth is one of the fastest. Is the polyphemus moth has the biggest appetite of any animal that I know. It eats more than 86,000 times its own birth weight in food in just the first 2 days of its life. Consider that. Okay. So, we have some really cool videos that are going to be coming out shortly. I believe, I don't know if I have them all posted to YouTube just yet. Hold on. But coming out shortly. I don't know if I can access them. I'm trying to figure out my upcoming lives for you guys. I know I have some. Okay. Well, maybe not. But there are some really cool lives coming up this month. Our next live is going to be rating my animal drawings. It's a chance for you to see them and rate them. Yeah, so you can do that. It should be lots of fun. Different anyway. I'm going to let you go because I have stuff to do. So I will talk to you later.